The Philadelphia Eagles don't play until Monday Night Football, so let's do some draft talk here over the weekend. My name is Chase Senior. You're watching Eagles Now. Thanks for supporting the show, and I hope all of you out there are having a fantastic weekend. Coming up here on the show, some Philadelphia Eagles draft targets for the 2026 NFL Draft from Mel Kiper's latest big board, the ESPN NFL Draft expert, who's been doing it at a high level for decades and decades. And let's begin here by taking a look at the Eagles' all too early draft needs, and you think ahead to the 2026 season for the Eagles and the future of this organization. I think these are all pretty big needs for Philadelphia's roster right now for Howie Roseman. Offensive line. This is a unit that has really regressed this year. You could stand to get a new right guard instead of Tyler Steen. Lane Johnson getting a little bit older. Cam Jurgens, Landon Dickerson, Jordan Mailata struggling. I don't think that they're washed. I think they're worn down from last year, but at least at right guard and right tackle, you have some future needs there. Tight end, Dallas Scott are going to be a free agent. Philadelphia could look to get younger and cheaper at that position with a player who's extremely dynamic and a pretty good tight end draft. Wide receiver, if the Eagles do move off of A.J. Brown, that skyrockets up the list as far as a shopping list of what the Eagles could need this offseason. Devontae Smith would become the number one, but also Jahan Dotson is a free agent, and I don't think the Eagles will retain him. Defensive line, because Howie Roseman always loves building in the trenches, and I'm going to put secondary here. Corner and safety needs for the Eagles. You can need an outside corner opposite of Quinyon Mitchell. You can need a safety because Reed Blankenship is also going to be a free agent. So those right there, the biggest needs for Philadelphia looking ahead to this upcoming offseason. And so we begin our Eagles draft targets list, and you'll see the numbers below these players for where they are on Mel Kiper's top 25 big board. And these are players I think that the Eagles could realistically draft. We obviously don't know yet where they're going to pick, so keep that in mind. A player I would love for Philadelphia, Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. Moves well. He blocks at a high level. He's extremely athletic, really good red zone threat. He can pick up yards after the catch. He is by far the best tight end in this class and one of my favorite players in this class. He would be a stud for the Eagles. Now, Philadelphia kind of linked to the likes of Isaiah Likely in free agency. I think he could be a good option and receiver in this Eagles offense. But Kenyon Sadiq would be under team control for the next 4 or 5 years if you get him in the first round, plus maybe more affordable than a guy like Isaiah Likely. 40 catches, 490 yards, and 8 touchdowns this year for the Oregon Ducks. Here's what Mel Kiper had to say about Sadiq. He is loaded with physical traits, has the explosion to hurdle defenders in the open field. He has the vision and the speed to cause conflict after the catch, with almost half his 2025 yardage coming after the ball is in his hands. And he's nearly impossible to match up against because of his quickness and his size. Sadiq has been consistent this season, and he could be the first tight end off the board. I would love this pick for the Eagles, plus he's a good blocker. If the Eagles want to go with an outside linebacking pass rusher, David Bailey out of Texas Tech could make a lot of sense. Number 11 player on Kiper's early big board. 6'3", 250, right in that realm of a Nolan Smith as far as the size goes. This year for the Red Raiders, playing for the Big 12 championship tomorrow or Saturday against BYU as I record this on Friday. 36 tackles, 16 TFLs, 12 sacks, and 62 pressures this year. A transfer from Stanford, so very smart, high IQ player. Bailey gets after the quarterback. He had 14 and a half sacks over 3 seasons with the Cardinal, and he has notably become more of a finisher this year. 21.5% pressure rate, second in the nation, up to 12.5 sacks in 11 games with the Red Raiders, unlocking another level of his game. Caleb Downs, safety out of Ohio State. If the Eagles want a player who I think can be in the NFL and play at a high level for the next decade, Caleb Williams could be that next guy. And am I going to put him alongside Brian Dawkins and Malcolm Jenkins? That's rich, right? But I do think that Caleb Downs can have that type of cultural impact and playing impact for a team. 6'2", 205, 51 tackles, 5 TFLs, 2 picks, 6 run stops for Ohio State this season. Here's what Mel Kiper had to say about Downs, and he is just salivating over what he can bring to the table. And we know that Howie, by the way, likes the NFL bloodline. So Kiper's write-up, Downs, the brother of NFL wide receiver Josh Downs, and the son of former NFL running back Gary Downs, is basically an extension of the defensive coordinator. His football knowledge shows in his play. It's obvious when you watch him in that Ohio State defense. But what really impressed me is how well he picked up Nick Saban's system as a 2023 freshman at Alabama before transferring. He diagnoses quickly thanks to excellent pre-snap instincts, and that allows him to play faster than his straight line speed might suggest. Plus, Downs is solid in coverage and is very reliable in the open field as a tackler. Just a perfect fit for Vic Fangio. We know that Howie Roseman loves his offensive linemen. If the Eagles want to go with a Lane Johnson replacement, Spencer Fano, offensive tackle out of Utah, could be the guy in the first round for the Birds. 6'6", 308. I'd like to see him bulk up just a little bit this season. No sacks allowed for the Utes. Started 12 games at left tackle in 2023 before moving to the right side in 2024, and he has started 23 games over the last 2 years, working opposite another highly regarded bookend in Caleb Lemieux. Fano does a great job of keeping his big frame between the pass rusher and his quarterback. He is technically sound and shows good punch to compensate for his lack of ideal arm length. Obviously there, you pair him up with Jeff Stoutland, you'd love that. I also like the tackle versatility playing on the left side and on the right side. Player number 5 here, 15th player on Mel Kiper's big board, Ruben Bain Jr. Now, he would be a bigger defensive end for the Eagles, more in the size of a Josh Sweat. Ruben Bain, 6'3", 270 pounds, very active player, really like his motor. 35 tackles, 6 TFLs, 4 sacks, and 45 pressures this year for the U. Kiper on Bain, he's powerful, has really strong hands, routinely gets the best of some very good offensive tackles, often with his dominant rip move, and he knows every trick in the book in getting home to the quarterback. Bain also shows speed and bend off the edge, and he takes good angles. Plus, he can hold the edge against runs and get off blocks to chase down ball carriers. His tape is just filled with disruption, but even with all those A-level traits, it's actually his hustle that really stands out to Mel Kiper. He never takes a play off and fires at the ball on every play. His arms are shorter than most scouts prefer, but there's so much to like with this game. Opponents have to account for him in their game plans, and he can keep them guessing even then with the inside-outside flexibility. Eagles could like the inside-outside flexibility. They've utilized Brandon Graham a lot on the edge and on the inside, and without Jalen Carter, we could see BG pop in to the interior a little bit more here. So which college football prospect do you absolutely love for the Eagles right now? If you're somebody who likes watching college football, you're scouting these players as potential Eagles targets and prospects, who do you really like? It can be somebody who we're talking about on the show, somebody else. Show me that you know ball. You can also support the show by getting a Philadelphia Eagles Now shirt. We made these after that Black Friday game where everybody was like, Eagles fans, they're always unhappy. They're 8-4. They just won the Super Bowl. Yeah, we're always unhappy in Philadelphia because we want to be great. We're not settling for being good. And so we wear it like a badge of honor. I'm going to make that link for our Shopify page as the pinned comment of today's Philadelphia Eagles Now. Get a shirt, share some laughs, wear it like a badge of honor, and support the show today. Okay, this player might be my favorite player for the Eagles. Penn State looks as though they're going to hire Matt Campbell. Again, I'm recording this on Friday. They're working on a deal. Nick Sirianni has ties to Matt Campbell. That further strengthens the Eagles' relationship with Penn State. So Vega Ioane is a guard who I think could be a tremendous player for this Eagles team at the right guard spot, and they could get back to having a Mauler there at right guard. Tyler Steen is not that. He was a college offensive tackle. And Vega Ioane is that. 6'4", 328, 10 starts this year for Penn State, no sacks allowed, Ioane from Kiper drives defensive tackles off the ball, sustains his blocks well. He can get to the second level, torque defenders out of the way, and he's incredibly agile at left guard for his size. Ioane has 31 career starts and has given up 2 sacks over that time, both in 2023. So no sacks given up in 2024, no sacks given up in 2025, and I've seen him listed as a top target from other draft experts to the Eagles. Let's go wide receiver here. Denzel Boston. Now, I don't think the Eagles are going to be in the running for a Carnell Tate or some of these other wide receivers who could go early, but if they do trade away A.J. Brown, they could target a wide receiver in the first round. Denzel Boston is an interesting and intriguing player because of the size that you might lose if A.J. Brown is not on this team in 2026. I don't want it to happen. We're talking about that as a potential scenario. 6'4", 210 for Denzel Boston. 56 grabs, 755 yards, 10 touchdowns this year for Washington. Great touchdown and scoring production. And Kiper on Boston here saying this: Boston has developed into a nuanced route runner who uses his size and physicality to shield defenders from the football. His length and catch radius makes life miserable for opposing cornerbacks. And the way Boston quickly finds openings in coverage jumps out on tape, helping him to 14 yards per catch on the year. He has Velcro-esque hands, allowing him to high or low to haul in difficult receptions. I am not by any means comparing him to A.J. Brown, but that skill set is similar to A.J. Brown on all fronts. Another defensive end here, Keldric Faulk. This guy is a dog, and this guy is absolutely massive. Again, it comes down to what the Eagles are looking for here. Jalix Hunt, Nolan Smith, smaller pass rushers in this 3-4. Keldric Faulk, another one of the big hulking defensive ends if the Eagles wanted to change up the prototype there. But they had interest in Myles Garrett, who's a bigger pass rusher. So Faulk is 6'6", 285 from Alabama, stayed in Alabama to go to Auburn. 27 tackles, 5 TFLs, 4 pass breakups, 26 pressures this year, and he is a physical menace. Mel Kiper thinks that as well. If you could draw up the perfect NFL 4-3 defensive end, obviously the Eagles run a hybrid 3-4, it would be Faulk. He's what I call an LTPer, someone who, LTP, looks the part. He can win with outside and inside moves, and he moves blockers with his super powerful hands. I see good overall instincts on tape too. Faulk makes his presence felt against the run and the pass, and he is scheme versatile. So from Kiper's standpoint, he does think that Faulk could play in Vic Fangio's system. Avieon Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson, number 21 player on Mel Kiper's board. He is the brother of A.J. Terrell, highly paid corner and a good player for the Atlanta Falcons. Terrell, 5'11", 180, runs pretty well, 49 tackles, 9 PBUs, 4 TFLs, 4 forced fumbles, and 3 sacks this season. As all of the real ones know, producer Chip, he went to Clemson, follows that program very closely, and he said that Terrell, one of the lone bright spots in a down year for Clemson. And these numbers go to show you he's active, he's always around the ball, and he's very disruptive. What did Mel Kiper have to say about Terrell? Here you go. Let's tee it up. Terrell is a proven cover man, much like his brother A.J. Terrell of the Atlanta Falcons. Avieon is consistent and reliable in man coverage. He can flip his hips, turn and run with the fastest wideouts, and still be able to locate the ball in the air to make the play at the right moment. He has 21 pass breakups over the past 2 years. Can you imagine Avieon Terrell, opposite of Quinyon Mitchell, with Cooper DeJean in the slot? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Another good corner here, and the 10th player who we're talking about on today's show, Mansoor Delane, cornerback out of LSU. We know that Howie really loves targeting some of these players from high-level college programs. He learned that lesson after the whiff on Jalen Reagor. 6 foot, 190 pounds for him from Silver Spring, Maryland. 43 tackles, 11 passes defended this season for LSU, and 2 picks. The ball production has been really good the last couple of years in college. Kiper, I have been very impressed with the instincts and savviness that he shows in coverage. True technician, has demonstrated excellent ball skills, 26 pass breakups, and 8 picks over his 4-year career. He excels in both man and zone. His 3.4 yards allowed per attempt on throws in his direction, 10th in the nation. And as we know, Vic Fangio runs a lot of man and zone. So 10 Eagles prospects and draft targets in December. We do it all here on the show. The draft is not until April, but we still got to bring the heat. And I thought it was a good time to do this because the Eagles play on Monday Night Football. Don't forget to give me a follow on all of my social media platforms, X, Instagram, TikTok. Over 1,000 on TikTok already. We got to update the numbers because of all of your support, and I appreciate all of you.